right, welcome to Triple Option, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We're in the building. Got the Nard Report. Got Philly Red Zone and Mister 411 in the house. All right, what's going on, Philly Red Zone?
Hey, what's going on, man? How's everything?
Everything is everything.
What's up? What's up?
Uh,
I'm feeling great.
All right, what's up, Nard from the Nard Report?
What's up? What's up?
All
Feeling
right,
good.
cool,
Feeling great.
cool. All right, all right. Just a little quick little thing, y'all. Make sure I hear a little bit of an echo, and that's okay. Everything's live. So if you do have any feedback coming from your way, it may be from a speaker or etc. If you got any headgear or something like that, that'll help kind of deter it. Uh, but other than that, let's keep it rolling, man. We're gonna jump on the make sure everybody go to TikTok, Mr. 411, and scan that QR code. Also, same thing on Instagram, Mr. 411 and smash that QR code right there. Also, check out Nard, man, on the Nard Report. He is on all social media platforms, and you can just punch in the Nard Report. And I'm glad he's here today on Philly Red Zone as we dive into week 7 of the NCAA college football season. As you can see there, Texas with a big win, Oregon, Penn State, Georgia, Alabama squeaked one out, Tennessee, LSU with a victory, and Clemson. There's just a couple games that we're going to either comment on or dive into. But before we do all of those things, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, and share on YouTube under 41 Sports World Network. We definitely appreciate you doing that. All right. All right. You saw those scores. We flashed up. We're going to dive back into some of those. But initially here, gentlemen, let's go ahead and start with the late night games. Okay. Because they have Heisman Trophy implications. Let's start with Colorado hosting Kansas State. All right. And Kansas State pulled out a 31-28 victory over the Colorado Buffaloes. And uh, Kansas continues on with their winning ways. They're 5-1. And Colorado's 4-2. Uh, and then get some of the stats up here for you with Shador Sanders airing it out once again. And Miller, wide receiver, was kind of like the highlight there for Colorado. But gentlemen, did you get to catch some of this and give us some of your thoughts on it? Let's start off with you, Philly Red Zone.
yeah, I had caught some of the game, man. You know, them late nights, man. It gets on you. But I mean, I think Colorado showed well. I mean, Kansas is naturally a gritty team. I mean, when you play against a Kansas State team, you literally gotta beat them. You gotta when the opportunity's there to take the ball away, you gotta take the ball away. When you got opportunities to score, you gotta score. Because I mean, I don't know what's in the water out there at Kansas State, but they play tough and gritty football, man. And their offensive line was pretty solid protecting their quarterback for most of the night. So he was just spinning that ball, man. I mean, Shador, they went down and scored, and I blanked. Kansas State threw it 60-yard bomb, and scored. It was just back and forth, and Shador, he made a couple mistakes, man, trying to do too much, from the getting the pick, and then just the down and distance is like, man, take the underneath passes. He was trying to air it out, too much, in certain spots to where, it just cost his team. He was holding onto the ball, and he really, I know he want to believe in his offensive line, but those guys, they're not going to be playing on Sundays. None of them are. But for the most part, I mean, it was a good game. Understand that Colorado lost. I don't think that loss should hinder Shador opportunity to beat a Heisman. Because I mean, you could look at his stats. I mean, 30 for 40 for 388, 3 tugs, and 1 interception. I mean, you look at his receivers. You know, Miller got banged up late. I think he got a high ankle sprain because on the tackle on one of the bombs that he did catch. Uh, D back had fell on his ankle, and then Hunter was in and out of the game. And he really didn't show up last night. I think he was dealing with a injury, a shoulder injury or something. So, but for the most part, man, it was a great game. I was entertained for the part that I stayed up on. The rest of it, I just once I saw that interception, I cut the TV off. I was like, all right, they're not coming back with a minute six left. Kansas State just gonna sit on the ball. So and hence the score. So, but overall,
Yeah, man.
great showing.
Yep. And being number 18, Kansas State. What did you see there, Nard?
To me, I saw that Colorado put up a great fight against Kansas. And here's the thing about Colorado. They are a very good team, but they got to find ways to win games. I'm not saying they're sorry or nothing. They can compete, but they got to find ways to win games. I see the stat Shadur Sanders. He had an amazing game. Miller had an amazing game. But at the end of the day, Colorado just got to find ways to win games.
And I think this too, gentlemen. If you go down to the rushing category there, 25 rushing attempts for Kansas State there, just on their main back. And then look at the best back for Colorado, 7 rushing attempts. And I think if you look at it, there's the imbalance there. Like the team that's running the ball is going to control the game, and that's telling me that the line is controlling the game too. But you're also controlling clock and things like that. If I think the best thing for Colorado is to not be so one dimensional. 40 pass attempts versus the 7 carries. If they're going to continue at that trend, I think they're going to be in a lot of 28 to 35 type games. But that doesn't, to me, give you the recipe of long term success. But we'll see where it goes from there. But I think they need to kind of figure out a way to balance that out, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Also, yep, and a big shout out to my brother Terrence Jones, music by J Tones. You can check him out at musicbyjtones at gmail.com. He's the one that put together that intro there that you heard. Philly.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel you with the running with Colorado. I mean, they had what, a year to find a real running back. I know
Yeah.
last year was kind of the freshman year, so Dion was taking what he can get. But you had the portal, man, to go out and find legit running backs. And I just think it was by design to not have a legit running back
Mm-hmm.
and to showcase Shador throwing. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people put, negative uh, just reporting on Shador's skills, man, coming from Jackson State to Colorado. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's just by design to have a subpar running game, to force Shador to have to throw. And every week he's getting 2, 3, almost 400 yards passing to show that he has an elite arm. He can throw with accuracy. He can throw, in tight windows, so he can raise his draft value. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's not about national championships with Dion. You know what I mean? It's about getting Shador being in the top 5 in the draft, and then also getting Travis Hunter, in a top 5, and then getting, his receivers also, in the top 15, if possible, top 50. What I mean, getting drafted when it's time for those guys to come out, especially that Miller kid. He's special, and that
Yeah.
other kid, number 14, he's also a good receiver, so
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so I think that's why we see the 7 carries, for 11
Yeah.
yards, because they don't want to do it. It's by
Yeah.
design.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that definitely needs to be looked at a little deeper, I would think. Travis Hunter, 3 receptions. You said he was in and out.
Yeah,
3
he was in and
receptions,
out.
26
Yeah,
yards.
he was injured, man. They took him in the tunnel. I think he was really dealing with something.
Yeah. And then I think he had a couple tackles here. And that's really about it. Let's see. You got Travis Hunter. Yeah, I think his numbers were yeah, they were kind of down this week. But again, that position that he plays is already there. It is down there at the bottom. Okay, so he had
Hmm.
1 solo tackle, and see, like, when you're trying to win a Heisman and you're not a receiver, you're not a running back, not a quarterback, you know, it, you really can't afford to have any games like this, as far
Yeah.
as that part of it goes. Doesn't affect the draft status, but just talking about the Heisman. So we're going to dive into the Heisman conversation, but before we do that, let's talk about the Boise State Hawaii game, and not
Hmm.
necessarily just talking about the game, but more so about Ashton Genty. Again, he rushed for 217 yards, a touchdown. He caught a TD. I mean, Boise is in the top 20 in the country. Uh, and he had another monster game. So GNT is looking to me. I mentioned a couple weeks ago, and I think we discussed it last week in our Heisman discussion. But GNT to me feels like to me it seems like the momentum is now really heading his direction to win the Heisman Trophy. What say you guys? This time we'll start with you, Nard.
So I didn't really watch this game, but all I know is that boys did their thing by beating an unranked team, and that's what you're supposed to do. Teams that are nationally ranked should win against those teams that are unranked. So boys, they played a good game, and that's all I gotta say.
Okay. Do you feel like GNT is in the I guess in the pole position when it comes to the Heisman?
Oh yeah, this dude is an elite running back.
All right. And what about you, Philly? You feel like GNT is leading the way? Or do you have
I
another contender
mean,
ahead of him?
he's putting up numbers every week, so I mean that's going to keep him in the conversation for the Heisman. The only thing I temper my expectations until I see him do it against, I mean, a little bit more elite teams. I don't follow Boise. I don't know who they played in their 6 games. You know,
Well, they
if
did play
they
Oregon.
okay, but Oregon don't pay defense, man. I don't believe in the Pac 2 defense. I'm sorry. I want to see it against a Big Ten ACC school. If they got one of them on the schedule, and he put up, 150, hell, even 100 yards on an ACC school or a Big Ten school, you know, then I I mean, he's legit. Now, I mean, I mean, his running style is downhill. I mean, he pretty much a one cut and run type running back. So that's what you need in that transition to that next level. So, but I think he's definitely in there. I mean, he's averaging what 150 yards a game, 170 yards a game,
Yeah,
and
he's beyond that.
multiple touchdowns. So he's gonna be in there. Whether people want to believe it or not. You know, but I think he's legit. I just want to see it against a little bit better competition than Hawaii.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna see where that lands with the Heisman talk. I do think he's because of the numbers are so eye popping. I think he's is gonna lead the way. I think like if you want to put Travis Hunter or Shador in there, I think both teams have played similar competition, if you will, in air quote.
Hmm. Okay.
Similar enough. You know what I'm saying? So I think if they're going to be in there, then he's going to be in there. Like I know we mentioned Milton not too long ago, but again, we'll talk about Alabama coming up here in a minute. But it looks like he's been kind of tailing off here a little bit. So it might be one of those things. It's the last, it's the last man standing type situation of
Yeah.
who gets his Heisman. So but we'll definitely see in a minute. Let's go ahead and move forward, gentlemen. Let's talk about a surprise. Uh, man, LSU. Okay, not that is an overly surprise, but Ole Miss. This is a game that I feel like Ole Miss should have taken. Man, this is one of those statement type victories. You know what I mean? Opportunities to go to LSU at night, as they say. It's always tough to go there at night. They wear their white jerseys at home at night and all this stuff, and they've been partying all day. And it was a close one, but LSU did find a way to win with a late touchdown. What are your thoughts here on this one, gentlemen? We're gonna no, this time it's you, Philly.
Okay. I mean, LSU. They, man, they're a team that find ways to win. I mean, they've been playing a lot of nail biter and close games. And the one loss that they had was a close game where they just found a way to lose. I mean, Ole Miss. I forgot their coach name. I know used to
Kev,
coach at
Kev,
you. Yeah, Kiffin.
Kif, yeah, Kiffin, Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin. I mean, the guy's just snake bitten, man. His his team just find ways to lose, dude. I mean, they'll have a team on a. I mean, they'll be up, and then you blink, and they down by 3. They'll be up by 10, and then they losing by 7. I mean, it just his team is just snake bitten. I mean, LSU they don't have a lot of elite, talent like they used to have in the past, few years. But oh boy, that used to coach with Notre Dame. I mean, he getting it through the guys, and they, they showing up, they making plays, man. Can they sustain it for the next, few weeks of the season? I don't know, but
Yeah,
I mean, it was a good win against a formidable opponent.
yeah, absolutely. Uh, do you think Nar, do you think this victory by LSU helps catapult them into the top 10?
Absolutely. Look, listen, LSU is a very great team. I love the coaching over there. They coach their players very well. Their offense is phenomenal. Their defense is great. And this was a big time statement win by the LSU Tigers. And I feel like Ole Miss should have won this game.
Yeah. There's definitely one that they should have gotten. But again, like the late touchdown there, giving up 337 yards, 3 TDs in the air. They do need to shore up their defense. But it was a close one. And it's one of those games that you kind of expect. Like it's not a guarantee. It did go to overtime, but yeah, I think LSU. When we get into our top 10 discussion later on, I think they should. Their name should come up. All right, another team. Speaking of top 10, they may fall out the top 10, even though they
Ah,
won. Alabama, man, at home, uh, they squeaked by, get a victory over 3-3. Now 3-3 South Carolina Gamecocks, who Corey had mentioned earlier in the season about South Carolina's D line, like how they produce these D linemen for some reason in South Carolina. And again, man, they wreak havoc again from defensively. But man, Alabama pulled out this victory. We'll start with you, Nard. What was your thoughts on this one?
Well, first of all, what a game this was by both teams. South Carolina was up, but they collapsed at the end. They got the late touchdown, failed the 2 point conversion, went for the onside kick, and they just fell to win the game at the end. And South Carolina played a great game. They should have won this game, first of all. South Carolina should have won this game, but Alabama just found a way to win this game.
Yeah, they did. They found a way, man. Um, Let me see. Can you hear me, Hot Tub? I mean, can you hear me, Philly Resmo?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. They did find a way to win this game, but I'm gonna tell you defensively, man. Kennard led the way. Uh, man, with the tackles for loss there, 3 of them. We got 6 solo tackles, 2 sacks. I mean, South Carolina defense was tough, man. But what was your take from this game, man?
Man, I mean, to me, South Carolina lost that game, man. That was their game. I think better quarterback play. South Carolina wins that game going away. I mean, like I said last week, Alabama got a cornerback problem. Their corners can't cover, bro. I mean, it was receivers wide open, and the South Carolina quarterback, man, it was some plays, man. He was overthrowing guys. He was underthrowing. He just couldn't drive the ball and get the ball to his receivers. I mean, hence his number one receiver only had 57 yards. I mean, and then that defense, man, South Carolina put on the field. My gosh, they had Melro, running and you know just trying to find space, and he
Yeah,
couldn't. They took the true freshman away. I mean, I didn't even hear his name the whole game. I mean, the running backs was fighting for space. And it was just the turnovers. I mean, the quarterback from South Carolina, they had the go ahead touchdown, and then they going in to take the lead, and he just fumbles the ball away. And it was a lot of just unnecessary turnovers, man. That showed up in his game and that allowed Alabama to hang around and then ultimately take the lead. Then you get the onside kick on the plus side of the field, and you need just 15 yards to kick a field goal to win. And you
Yeah.
trying to go for deep shots. I don't understand that. I mean, I blame the coaches with that. Like, you got to settle your quarterback down. You realize he's struggling. He's not reading the defense that he's seeing. Just give him, spread him, overload on one side, put a, receiver on the boundary side, and then run, solid routes that to get behind the linebackers, and so he can just easily dump it off. If not, dump it to your running back and let them, get the necessary yards. All you need was 15 yards for to get in the field goal kicker's range, and you knew Alabama was going to do all out blitz because they showed it. And I mean, it was just crazy, man. I swore South Carolina was going to win, man. But overall, it was a great game. I think the better team lost yesterday.
Man, there you go. I mean, and that was a great statement, man. Great way to put that. Better team loss. And it's just a team that had just a little bit less, like at the quarterback position. I believe that too. They struggled against LSU that way too, with the
Mhm.
quarterback play. And South Carolina, they're basically a quarterback away from really becoming a team that can really disrupt a lot of things in the SEC next season. I think they
Yeah,
need to
I agree.
focus on trying to get them a quarterback.
Yeah, I agree
All
with you.
right. Yes, let's jump to another SEC matchup, which on the surface, if you just came back, if they unthawed you, you was thawed for the last 10 years, and you would hear somebody say, let's talk about the SEC matchup between Texas and Oklahoma, you'd be like, what? That's a Big
Ex-
12 game, isn't it?
exactly.
But yeah. So let's talk about this Big 12 slash SEC Red River rivalry between Texas and Oklahoma. As you can see, the score pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Ewers did return as the starting quarterback. So basically, just give me your overall thoughts on this, Philly, and then Nard.
Yeah, I mean, Ears his first pass was a pick, so you could tell that that was unfortunate. But overall, man, it was the Red River because it was a lot of Oklahoma blood in it. I mean, this game, this game was one sided, bro. I mean, it was a clinic that Texas put on, man. I mean, even their mistakes, man, they made on the field. Oklahoma could not capitalize. I mean, at all. They couldn't move the ball. Oklahoma's another team that has a quarterback problem. That quarterback, he was scared the whole game. I mean, all he was doing one read and then just running, and it was like Texas was just feasting off of that. And then the athletes that Texas have on offense, my gosh, man, I didn't know they had all that firepower, over there. Um, and this is gonna be a great build up for next week's game. I mean, I'm be front row and center. Can't wait to watch that one, man. Oh, Texas is definitely the clear number one, and if they handle business next week,
Mm,
yeah, yeah, that's gonna be epic, man. They're going away with the SEC. You know,
yes, sir.
everything gonna be coming through Austin.
Wow. All right. Uh, Nard, were you just as impressed with Texas?
Well, I wasn't that impressed with Texas. Texas is the best football team in college. Okay, they're number one in the nation. I expected a close game, but Texas ran all over Oklahoma, and Texas are the favorites to win it all this year. And I'm gonna say this: their biggest threats to them are the Georgia Bulldogs, and they play each other next week. So we'll see how that game goes.
Okay. All right. We will dive into that. All right. So we'll get into that next week as far as our post game. I mean our review. But man, shout
Yes,
out
sir.
to Jesse Johnson. Just spinning it back right quick to the South Carolina game. He said South Carolina was winning the game until the referees took over the game. All right, so his comment was there about the officiating. Gentlemen, did y'all have any issues with the officiating as well?
Nah, that's to me that's a little cop out for South Carolina,
Nah,
man. You got the pill late with everything right there, man. You know, again, 15 yards, man. You got to be able to get 15 yards and I mean what? It was at 56 seconds, and then you had the offensive lineman who caught a batted pass instead of throwing it on the ground. He trying to run with it, like I mean, those are the mental mistakes that they made, and it was bad quarterback play. It wasn't the refs, man. They they had every opportunity to win that game. You know.
All right. Well, big shout out there to Jesse and Jesse. Just let us know what you saw. What was in particular the issue on the field that you saw, and maybe that can help us out a little bit. I do have an official that comes on one of our shows called Make It Official, and if there's something in there, a particular player, so you want us to discuss, I'll make sure to have him on this week and break that down. All right, because we got some other plays we're gonna talk about. I think on Monday. So we're going to be talking about that as well. I just got to get the feedback to make sure he's back in town. But Stephen Duvall, our college football official, is ready and available to break stuff down for us. All right, big shout out there to Jesse. All right, let's get to the next matchup here, gentlemen. Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's go out west. Penn State. All right, with a big road victory over USC. I think this kind of helps solidify Penn State in the top 10. What say you, gentlemen? And look at the big day by the tight end as well. Philly.
Oh man, I this is an impressive win for Penn State because they really don't fare well when they go out and play on the West Coast. They have a bad
Yeah.
history of going out playing UCLA, USC, Cal. When they had an opportunity to play those teams, and then sometimes they naturally would come up short. I mean, it was an overall team win. I mean, the tight end just was you know crushing USC, but then also USC had an opportunity to win. I mean, you missed the field goal to go ahead, and their defense just kind of collapsed late. But I think it was an impressive win for Penn State. I mean, they should definitely move up, one slot into in the rankings. So, but they definitely showed well.
All right. What say you, Nard?
to me, this shows that Penn State is a top five team in the nation. This was a close game overall. USC played a great game. Like Philly said, they missed a field goal to tie it, but overall, you got to make those kicks. 'Cause that can cost you the game right there. But shout out to Penn State. They're 6-0 the season, and can't wait to see what they're gonna do around December.
All right. One of the traditional teams there. And a big game for Tyler Warren, man. 17 receptions. Uh, I mean, that's a ton of receptions, man. 20
Yeah.
targets. I mean, the quarterback definitely had his eyes, he had his mind made up that he was going to the tight end. And I mean, he either had to be wide open all game or he just definitely wanted to target him. And obviously, they saw something there in the USC defense where they can exploit him with the tight end. And they definitely uh, took full advantage of that, gentlemen.
Yeah. Yeah, that tell me, man, they didn't respect those linebackers and safeties, man.
Yeah. Not, look, not at all. I mean, come on, man. The
They
tight
saw
end with this
something
many
on tape.
receptions.
Yeah, they saw something on tape and said, "Man, we're gonna make you a lot of money at tight end today, buddy."
Yeah. Yeah, they sure did. They definitely did. So he's already on my fantasy football radar now.
Who you
So
telling?
yeah, just off of this game. All right,
Exactly.
but a game that was on everybody's radar. was number 2 versus number 3, and that was
Ooh.
Ohio State and Oregon, gentlemen. You see there with the score, Oregon wins 31-32.
Mm.
And check this out, gentlemen. The coach for uh, Ohio State is 2-6 against top 5 opponents. So Coach Day, man, he was in the days, two and
Yeah.
six. All right, against remember that hotel called Days Inn? Well,
Yep.
it's days out for him, man. Like if this continue,
Yeah.
if this
Days
trend continues,
numbered.
gentlemen. Yeah, days number, end of days. You know what I'm saying? All of those things. But Dylan Cable rallied the team, man, and they got a victory. Even though they squeaked by, and I know Chip Kelly's happy because he's coaching over there at Ohio State now, up in the
Yeah.
booth. You know, but hey, what was your takes for this one? We start with you, Nard.
Yes, sir. First of all, what a fantastic finish this was. This was a good game overall from both teams. Ohio State, I believe they should have won, but I want to go to the 6 seconds left. Six
Yes, sir.
seconds left, you hike the ball, and then you scramble for about like 5 yards, and you didn't even get the timeout in time. You should have just at least thrown it away or just threw it for a couple yards and then called a timeout, and then they would have kicked the game with a field goal, and I feel like they would have won there. But shout out to Oregon for getting the win. They are a top 3 team in the nation, and I respect that. Ohio State is a good team, but I don't think Ohio State is a playoff team overall because in the regular season they show out, but in the playoffs, they don't really do nothing. So that's all I got to
Yes,
say.
yes, sir. And that was well stated, man. All right. Philly, anything else on it?
Oh yeah, man. This was I watched this game from start to finish. It was epic, man. I was impressed by Gabriel. And he utilized pretty much every weapon he had, man. And Ohio State defense, I mean, they showed true. Hence the 32 points. I mean, that they gave up, but it was a epic battle by both of those teams. To me, you know, Ohio State, if they had a little bit better quarterback, they would have won that game, going away because it was it was a couple throws that Howard just missed, and he couldn't make those, the throws that was needed. Gabriel, his athleticism, he's not an elite quarterback, but the one play where he scrambled, put a move on a guy and to, score one of the go ahead touchdowns. I mean, it was just epic. And I'm with you, Nard. That last 6 seconds, I'm like, bro, just throw the ball up. Like you run it and they go slide. Like, come on now. Know the clock. You know what I
Or
mean?
he could
Pay
have just
attention.
thrown it
Know the
away.
yeah, just like, dude, what are you doing? Get the 3 yards, get down, take the timeout, kick the field goal. It was going to be an aggressive field goal anyway, and that kicker for Ohio State don't have the biggest leg, so 9 times out of 10 they were going to lose anyway. But this was one of the good games. In the rankings, I know we're going to talk about it. Definitely Oregon moves up a slot. I think Ohio State moved down probably 2 slots, and Penn State move up a slot. So yeah.
Mhm. All right, gentlemen. That was the big one there that kind of uh it was gonna make us somebody was gonna make a statement there. And if Texas somehow would have been upset, we probably would have saw a new number one.
Hmm.
But before we get to that, gentlemen, let's get to this group of five uh and we'll talk about another team after that. But let's get into this group of five conversation. So, Boise with another victory. Okay, we talked about them. They're in the top. They're probably one of the teams that's leading the way in the group of five that will get that bid into the college football playoff. But another team uh, is Army. All right, and Army. All right, they put a 44-10 beating on UAB,
Hmm.
and again, they're 6-0. And they've been looking tough all season. And look, hit the name of the show, Triple Option. Well, that's what Army runs, the Triple Option. So,
They was slanging that
hey,
ball though.
yeah, yeah, that too, right? But man, they help them keep Triple Option alive. Besides just the name of the show, but man, how do y'all feel about Army, gentlemen? Do you think that Army, which one of the Group of Five teams is gonna get that bid, or at least got the inside track for it?
Uh, I don't know, man. I temper the expectations with Army. I mean, good program. Salute to the soldiers over there, but that brand of football is limited, man. To me, um, they run against a more formidable opponent, man, and they'll I mean, it come back down to earth. It's kind of like the BYU's, and I put them in that tier of schools and undefeateds.
Yeah.
Um, if anybody, I would go more BYU than Army.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think BYU brand of football definitely transition because they do air it out. They play smash mouth, where they're gonna line it up and basically hit you in the mouth. They play sound defense. But I mean, it would be a great story if Army ends up there, and I hope I'm wrong because I mean those guys over there, they play tough and they play their brand of football, But I just don't see it. I don't see it.
All right. Who do you have? Who do you? What are some teams you're looking at in that group of five, Nard?
Well, really, the team I'm really looking at is Army because they are a phenomenal football team, and I believe that they should be nationally ranked right now.
Ooh, okay, nationally ranked. Okay. All right. That's pretty bold there. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, the rankings will come out soon. We'll see if that help bump them up or not. But we'll look deeper into that. But hey, let's give a shout out here to Clark Atlanta University, and hence the name Clark Atlanta. So it's out of Atlanta, Georgia. They're Division Two. Remember earlier this season they defeated Division One Bethune Cookman on the road. They continue their winning ways, and there's a lot of players that transfer. The new head coach there is from Allen University, and he brought a lot of players with him, including the quarterback. And man, they've been airing it out ever since. They got a new red field that was awarded to them through the Arthur Blank Foundation, and Arthur Blank has been helping a lot of schools that need help with their facilities as far as their fields. So Albany State University in Albany, Georgia, they have a blue field. Clark Atlanta has a red field. It's the same color as those pants they're wearing right there, but it looks good and it gives them a distinct look. But big shout out there to Clark Atlanta for continuing their winning ways. Division two program. Keep an eye on them. We'll probably see them in the postseason in that Division two playoff scenario. So big ups to them because this is a team that was kind of down and out. Not, I mean, maybe a season or two ago, and now they're bouncing up. And man, let's see, their enrollment has increased. They've actually had more students enroll into this year than the University of Georgia did. They had more applications come in to their school. So like there's a lot of things happening there. So just keep an eye on Clark Atlanta. Now, gentlemen, before we leave today, all right, Clemson has been on their winning tear. I mean, they've been winning a lot of games ever since that Georgia loss, which Brooks has
Mhm.
mentioned several times on this show. Tennessee with another victory there. But all this leads to now, let's talk about the top 10, gentlemen. Here's a list right here. It actually goes up a little higher to 25, but out of we generally talk about the top 10. How do you feel about this list right here? And are there anything that you would like to adjust?
Um, yeah, for me, move 8 and 9 up to 3 and 4. I mean, move 2 down to 4, move 8 and 9 up to 2 and 3. So I give Oregon to 2, Penn State 3, Ohio State stays at 4. Georgia moved down to 5. My gosh, Tennessee, stays in their same place, and I would probably move. Miami was idle, so they benefit. I moved them to where Notre Dame is. I'm not a big Notre Dame believer. Move them out and move Clemson up to where Miami is. Um, that it they got to get better with that, man. Oregon and Penn State definitely need to move up. Those wins were very impressive, man. And
Yeah.
Ohio State, even though they lost, Alabama, they're Alabama, so they're gonna keep them relevant. And Clemson too. I mean, I don't think they deserve to be in the top 10, not yet. Let's get one more win under their belt, and then we can move into somewhere in the top 10. So
All right. Got some shuffling there to do. I think we all
yeah,
agree Texas should stay where they are. Um, Definitely stay where they are. Gentlemen, like I said, this is just kind of a list that was thrown out there. Obviously, Ohio State shouldn't be at two, in my opinion, but you know, but obviously, so what do you have, Nard?
Well, to me, this list isn't bad, but I feel like LSU should be in the top 10. But otherwise, this list is fine.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. I'm trying to get a more updated list, gentlemen. See if that helps a little bit. Does that help a little bit there?
oh yeah, that looks a lot
Yes,
better.
sir.
I'm
Okay.
still baffled by Penn State with their win. I understand Georgia is Georgia, but I mean I can live with that. I mean that looks a lot better. That looks kind of like
Okay.
what I had in my mind, just trying to do
And to
the
me, Georgia
shuffling
should
on
be
the
top three.
fly.
Yeah, we got with the editing team and got some things corrected there on the
Yeah,
fly.
Georgia,
So
Georgia
yeah.
might be number one after next week if they go and handle business.
Not for real. Georgia should be top three right now after that Ohio State loss.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when the two versus three in that matchup, like, and it was that close,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, I guess a flip flop is okay. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's all right for now. There's gonna be
Yeah.
plenty of movement there in the future. Penn State, they keep winning, so they keep inching their way up and up and up. Alabama wasn't impressive to me, so I'm good with them kind of staying right in that six range. I think
Hmm.
they're better than Miami. I think they're better than Miami, Notre Dame, Tennessee, and Clemson. So I think that sliding is good for Alabama as well. Um, Miami, I think the jury's still out on them because of their opponents, that kind of thing. Notre Dame, I just don't understand why they are in anybody's top 10 outside of the reasons why we all understand why they are, right? I
Yeah.
know that sounds crazy, but we understand that on the business side of things, why Notre Dame name keep popping up every time we look. But yeah, I'm okay with this list right here. I'm okay with Clemson moving to 10. I think you made a good point there. By I think you dropped somebody out. It might have been Notre Dame, and then you move Clemson up to 10. So I'm good. This list is tolerable. I can live with this list. If there was any other adjustment, I would move Notre Dame out and then
Yeah,
slide
and put
another team
LSU.
in.
Yeah, put LSU at
Yeah,
10 and move Clemson up to Notre Dame spot.
right.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Yeah.
I will kind of do that. But that's our top 10, man. So, all right, we hammered all that in, knocked everything out. Man, I appreciate everybody being on, man. So make sure you check out Nard on the Nard Report. Make sure you check out Philly Red Zone. He's on Forward Sports World football show. He's on there for the football, the reviews and the NFL style and stuff like that too. So Philly Red Zone, we appreciate your versatility. Handling,
Yeah, no problem, man. No
you know what I'm
problem.
saying? Taking care of the collegiate side and the professional side of football.
Yes,
So,
sir.
all right. I know y'all. Who is it? The Falcons played. They play today. Nard.
Yes, sir. Against the
All right.
Panthers.
So, yep. Good luck to your team up in Charlotte against the Panthers. Uh, Philly Red Zone. Your guys, the Eagles.
Yeah,
They
play
got one
against the
today against
Browns,
Cleveland,
man.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I need
So
them to
we'll see
play a
what.
clean game today, man. I
Okay.
can't do no 17-14, man.
All right. Well, we'll see what they do against the former Clemson quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Since the coach is just hell bent on keeping Deshaun Watson out there. So we'll see
He needs to be
Yeah.
what happens
benched.
there.
Yeah, nah, keep them out there. Keep them out there. I
Yeah.
need to go. I
So
know.
at least they keep out
Nah,
that another week.
keep them out there another week. Look, bench them next week.
All
We'll leave
right, man.
famous Jameis out there slinging it around.
Oh man, because you know he will now. Yeah.
Yeah,
He'll at
he'll
least do
throw
that, if
five
nothing else.
touchdowns and 5 picks, but you know.
Yeah, man. So look forward to seeing all that today. And but it's time to run now, gentlemen. But appreciate you all being on. And we'll do this again next week.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right, thank everybody for tuning in. We'll see y'all later.
All right. Take it easy.